Bison. Just saying the word conjures up images of thunderous herds rolling across sprawling prairies and ancient forests. But behind that majestic vision is a gritty story of near annihilation, a comeback for the ages, and some powerful lessons about what it really means to be a survivor. Let's start where the saga begins, North America. Once up to 60 million American bison, massive shaggy beasts weighing as much as a pickup truck, dominated the plains. They weren't just scenery. These animals were ecosystem engineers. Their grazing sculpted the grasslands, their wallows shaped wetlands, and their presence supported everything from wolves to grizzlies. For thousands of years, indigenous communities lived alongside bison, taking what they needed and honoring the animal in every facet of life: food, shelter, tools, even spiritual traditions. But then, everything changed. European colonists arrived. The 19th century brought railroads and rifles, and a booming hide market meant slaughter on an industrial scale. The US government even encouraged the killing to undermine native resistance. The prairies that once shook with the sound of hooves went eerily silent. By the late 1800s, fewer than 1,000 bison remained. Only about 300 roamed wild, in places like Yellowstone, clinging to survival by the slimmest thread. But it wasn't over. A handful of ranchers and conservationists refused to let the bison go extinct. They set aside land, lobbied for protection, and started the first bison reserves. Yellowstone became a sanctuary, and the American Bison Society led the charge to breed and reintroduce animals to parks across the country. Over time, their numbers slowly climbed. By 2025, about 20,500 bison roam conservation herds, with Yellowstone's herd leading the wild population. Counting commercial herds, that number tops 500,000. It's an epic comeback, but not without challenges. Now, let's head across the Atlantic to the dense forests of Europe, home of the European bison, or wisent. These creatures once roamed from Spain to Siberia, woven into folklore and royal hunts. But as forests fell to axes and farms, their numbers dwindled. Wars made things worse. By 1927, not a single European bison remained in the wild. Just 48 survived in captivity. And yet, hope sparked again. Conservationists launched a global rescue mission, breeding those few survivors and reintroducing them to forests in Poland, Belarus, and Russia. Today, over 11,000 European bison exist, with more than 8,800 living free. You'll even find new herds in places like the UK and Spain, thanks to ambitious rewilding projects. Still, the fight's not over. Both species face threats. American bison have lost genetic diversity, often mixing with cattle. Disease and shrinking habitats make it tough for wild herds to thrive. European bison suffer from inbreeding, limited genetic roots, and the pressures of living in a modern, fragmented landscape. Climate change adds a new layer, shifting grasslands and migration routes. So, what's the takeaway from this wild journey? Bison are living proof that extinction isn't always the end of the story. Through science, activism, and sheer determination, these icons have clawed their way back from the abyss. They remind me, and I hope they remind you, of what's possible when we work together to give nature a second chance. If you ever see a bison grazing on open land or hear about a new herd roaming free, remember, you're witnessing a living legacy, one built on survival, resilience, and the hope that we can restore what we once nearly lost. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, hit like, subscribe, and drop your favorite bison fact in the comments. Until next time, keep exploring the wild.